Hello everyone, and check this out. This just goes to show you the tank looking good has nothing to do with how good the shrimp are doing. So this is my 75-gallon Blue Dream tank in my bedroom, and about a year and a half ago I set this thing up because I was afraid of running out of Blue Dream shrimp. Well, I've always said, I've said it in a number of videos, that the Blue Dream line is my most prolific line. And it turns out I didn't even need to set this tank up. I think I've sold like 200 or 300 shrimp out of here total ever. In my 40-gallon Blue Dream tank, I'll show you that. This is the 40-gallon tank that covers all my Blue Dream needs. Like, I just keep selling and selling and selling and selling and selling out of this tank, and they never run out. So I've never really had to get into that 75-gallon tank before. I also have a couple Project Blue Dream tanks that I restart and play with different genetics and try to see what's going on, try to improve them for future lines, the other project tanks. So it's safe to say I got Blue Dream shrimp covered. So back to the big 75-gallon tank. So what we're going to do here in this video is I'm going to eventually tear this entire tank down. Everything, substrate, filter, everything. Get everything cleaned out. Make sure we get rid of all the Blue Dreams. And then I'm going to do something else with this tank entirely because I got Blue Dream shrimp covered. This was a good idea, and I stayed on top of it really good. And then the population just kept booming and booming and booming. I was like, I don't even need these shrimp. So just kind of like, well, I change the water and feed them, and you can tell things kind of been let go, but they're all still taken care of just fine. And the light, well, we've got algae issues. I'm going to black out the tank because that has been a headache with this. They're forever. I've got 3 lights on this. I only ran one for like 3 hours a day just to try to cut back the algae. Well, it made the moss get real leggy and stringy, and the Ludwigia kind of faded out, except for at the very top, and it grew on. The algae still grew. But the cool thing is, and I've had these Blue Dreams for years and years and years, and I've only seen a couple of them. But look what we got there. Blue Dreams with red on them, and a lot of people call those Spider-Man shrimp. Now, there's more than just a few in here. So, those Spider-Man looking shrimp, we are going to take one of my least productive tank, my tank that hasn't done anything. We're going to pull those handful of Spider-Mans we got popping up in here and put them in their own tank, a tank that has been completely unproductive. And you can see there's still lots of really good ones. There's some that are perfect, but we got the splotchy stuff going on. So most of them are going to end up in the Blue Velvet tank or the Skittles tank. But what we got to do, so we're going to take this down. This video is probably going to, this project is going to probably take 2 or 3 videos to accomplish. Because we got to tear down this tank, restart the tank on the floor for the, hopefully, Spider-Man shrimp. I don't know if they'll breed out or anything, but I know these guys are pretty cool. It's like the It's like the black splotchiness on some of these is red. That's what they are. I'll put some pictures up and show you because I got some better footage. There are not really that many of them out right now, but there's enough to show you a couple of them. There's one. You can see that it's kind of borderline. They might not breed out to be anything cool, but and there's lots of really good ones too. And so what we're going to do is the best ones are going to go in the second project tank that I showed you guys. Spider-Mans are going to go in my least productive tank that has done nothing for months and months and months. And then eventually we're going to end it with restarting this tank. That'll probably be in another video. We're going to restart this whole tank with something different. Something I've always wanted to do and have kind of done, but just a dream tank of mine. And I'll show you that when we do that video. But for this video, we're just going to tear this tank down and separate and grade these shrimp. And here it is, the ugliest, worst tank, most unproductive tank I have. It is mainly like a backup blue jelly colony. But the main problem we have in this tank is it's on the floor, in the closet, on linoleum, and the floor is not insulated. This is the temp controller, and it's not even cold out, and it's only 60 degrees, not warm enough for shrimp to breed. And even in the summer, this tank barely gets to 70, and when we had a super, super cold snap just last month, this was in the 40s. So the shrimp are fine, but they're just not breeding, and I don't think there's very many in here. So how many shrimp do you think are in this nasty tank? It looks like it used to be like all algae. Let's see what we got in here. I think the algae got taken over by the duckweed. Oh my god, that feels cold. Alright, we're going to tear this down, restart it. Hopefully one of these heaters still works. The heaters get used up in this tank quick. They don't even last a year usually because they got to work so hard. And this is the coldest, most remote part of the house. There's no airflow or anything back here. Oh, and we're on the floor. Let's see what we can dig out of here. The first step I like to do on these really messy tanks like this is take the shop vac and get rid of as much duckweed and crap like that as possible. Of course, being careful not to get the shrimpies sucked up. And then I filled up a bucket with water and slowly started tearing out all the moss and the algae, getting everything out little bit by little bit, checking each very carefully to make sure we didn't get any shrimp. And then the shrimp are going in the moss is going in a bucket full of water, and if we got any, then we'll sort the little baby shrimp that we might have missed later. Oh heck yeah, these tanks are tucked in the bottom. But look at that! I can't believe how many shrimp are in here. And they look really good. I'm gonna go through and pick out. I'm gonna sort through these guys. I only thought there'd be a handful of them. There's a couple hundred shrimp in here, I'm guessing. I did find some Pleco bones, so there was a little Pleco in here. Look how good those guys look. That's nice. Very nice. Okay. So I think I told you guys, some of you guys have been watching her for a while, I had a die off in that top tank up there with reds. This tank was never affected. This tank was never affected. This tank sucked for a long time, and now it's doing good again. And this tank, I only ever seen a handful of shrimp in here, and it's just one of those things where I put food in it, change like 4 or 5 gallons of water every week, and nature just did its thing. And it's been in the 40s and 50s pretty much. It's just now we've had a pretty decent warm stretch here lately, and it now is saying it's 60. It's really cold down here, tucked in the corner of the back of the house. Alright, I guess I have a lot of shrimp to sort. I wasn't counting on it having this problem. You can see the air stone sponge filter is about completely clogged. Fun. I'm excited. Good to see a pretty much forgotten about tank be productive. That's awesome. Well, would you just look at this? I'd say that there's 200 or 300 shrimp in that tank, and I was only expecting a handful. The thing that's made this easy is I haven't seen hardly any baby shrimp. And when you do this, that is by far the hardest thing, because of this tank. The temps have been well below breeding temps for them. Probably since like November or October. That tank gets ridiculously cold. And the tank's just been struggling because the heater quit working, and I never thought it was important enough to worry about. Well, there's some really, really nice ones in here. Still not sure what I'm going to do with these. I was just figuring I'd toss a handful in the Skittles tank. So I might just go ahead and throw all these in the Skittles tank, because they were just a backup line and they haven't been touched in 2 years, other than changing the water and feeding them. But wait, there's even more than this. So we're just now down to this process here. And again, going back to not having I didn't having any babies because the water's been cold. It's going to make this part of it a lot easier. And scoop these guys. Usually I'm trying to catch hundreds of little teeny tinies. Well, at the beginning of the video I said this video is probably going to end up taking 2 or 3 videos to get taken care of, and so I'm going to have to end this video here because it's Thursday afternoon and I got to upload a video for Friday. So this will be part 1 of dealing with this, and this is just the beginning of a giant project of restructuring my entire shrimp room. I'm going to be doing a lot of new stuff, redoing a lot of stuff. So if you're into watching some old guy talk about his shrimp projects, then go ahead and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.